Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 6 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
It's good to have you here tonight. I'm Whitney Ward. We are continuing to track that Chinese balloon that was first spotted over Montana yesterday afternoon. It's still unclear what that balloon's true purpose is, with China and the Pentagon releasing conflicting statements.
Right now, the Pentagon says that balloon was being used for surveillance and is flying at 60,000 feet above the central U.S. and is now heading east. Originally, it was spotted over Montana, home to a nuclear missile site. Malmstrom Air Force Base sits in Great Falls, Montana, and it controls several intercontinental ballistic missiles in silos across north central Montana. Washington is rejecting Beijing's claim that it was used for weather research and that wind blew it off course. Defense officials expect the solar-powered object to remain over the nation for several more days. Officials ruled out shooting down the balloon, citing potential danger from falling debris. They say it does not pose a threat to the people on the ground as it remains in the sky and as many people look up just trying to spot it. And because China says this is a weather balloon, even though Washington disputes that, we wanted to see what those types of balloons look like.
So KREM 2's Shannon Mowdy is at the National Weather Service in Spokane for that daily balloon launch to see how their balloons compare.
We wanted to see how that massive Chinese balloon stacks up to the weather tracking balloons the Spokane National Weather Service launches over our skies twice a day.
Well, what the heck is that?
That's a matter of who you ask.
It is a surveillance balloon, right? So there is a surveillance capability underneath this large balloon.
The Pentagon press secretary says the Chinese craft is collecting information, while the Chinese government says it's a civilian weather research balloon that blew off course.
The data that we collect here can help New York in a few days.
This is a weather balloon Spokane's National Weather Service launches twice a day. Attached is a data gatherer.
The sonde does temperature, humidity, wind speed, and direction. And pressure.
The Chinese balloon is believed to be as large as 3 buses. Krista Carruthers with the National Weather Service says, yeah, their weather balloons can get pretty big.
Once they get up into the atmosphere, they expand to about the size of a small house even. They get very large, and then once the pressure becomes too much, it pops.
The Pentagon says the Chinese balloon is flying around 60,000 feet.
They go about 100,000 feet or so, which is about 20 to 22 miles. Yeah, they go quite a bit. So hold on really tight.
Carruthers says their balloons end up all over the place.
However the wind takes it. So a lot of ours do end up in Montana, just because that is the general flow pattern, is from west to east.
But they'll biodegrade once they land and provide useful weather info within an hour of launch.
It's a fun job.
A Pentagon spokesperson says the Chinese balloon is expected to keep traveling across the U.S. for the next couple days. Shannon Mowdy, KREM 2 News.
In other top news tonight, the Spokane man who killed his ex-girlfriend Cassie and then tried to kill her 5-year-old daughter will now spend 36 years in prison. This comes after he pleaded guilty to first-degree murder and attempted murder charges just last month.
KREM 2's Amanda Rowley has been following this story since the defendant's arrest in 2021. She had the only camera in the courtroom during his hearing today.
This morning, the courtroom for Joshua Phillips' sentencing was completely full. They even had to open a second courtroom for the overflow of people there who knew and loved Cassie. Following Cassie's death nearly 2 years ago, a massive crowd gathered to honor her sweet spirit. Then, just last month, Joshua Phillips pleaded guilty to killing Cassie and stabbing her 5-year-old daughter. Investigators say Kathy's death happened shortly after she ended her relationship with Phillips in April 2021. Court documents say she died from multiple stab wounds. Phillips also stabbed her daughter more than 7 times, but she survived after a month in the hospital.
The amount of people impacted in this courtroom and in this courthouse shows just how truly special she was.
This morning, that massive crowd gathered once again, only this time to confront Cassie's killer. Her aunt Christina Rawls described the pain she still feels today.
He chose to rip a mother away from her children, a sister away from her brother, a daughter away from her parents. He stole our granddaughter, niece, cousin, and friend. He has left a hole that can never be refilled.
Attorneys agreed to a recommended total sentence of 36 years for Phillips. This is on the lower end of the standard range, but the judge considered 36 years a life sentence because Phillips would be almost 80 years old when he becomes eligible for release.
Mr. Phillips is sorry. He apologizes. He is not seeking or asking for forgiveness, but he is hoping that by closing this chapter, healing for all of you can begin.
Lead Detective Ben Green told me after the hearing, the evidence and testimonies in this case helped secure the defendant's guilty plea. Looking back at the investigation, he remains impressed by the strength of Cassie's daughter after surviving this terrible attack.
I had the privilege of meeting her daughter multiple times, and she is a fighter. It is a miracle she's with us today, and a lot of it is due to just her own strength and determination.
Now you'll notice Phillips was brought into court in a wheelchair. According to his attorney, because of his age and deteriorating health, she doesn't believe he will outlive that 36-year sentence. Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Well, a Las Vegas woman is in a North Idaho jail tonight after police say she tried to smother her own father at the veterans home in Lewiston yesterday. Sandra McCarty made her first court appearance today for a first-degree attempted murder charge. According to court documents, a nurse caught McCarty sitting on top of her father with her hands over his nose and mouth. The nurse says she yelled for her to get off, and he immediately told the caregiver his daughter was trying to kill him. During her interview with detectives, McCarty claimed she thought her dad was dying, so she was trying to get his CPAP mask off of his face. Tonight, McCarty is being held in the Nez Perce County Jail on a $500,000 bond.
And exciting news for Spokane Indians fans. The Spokane City Council recently announced that Avista Stadium will be getting a $2 million renovation. The 64-year-old field requires a major overhaul to comply with the MLB's new stadium requirements that must be completed by the start of the 2026 season. The new regulations are primarily for player, coaching staff, and team support facilities. All right, let's check in with the current forecast now as much of our area continues to warm up, at least slightly tonight.
It's just a little bit, but it's just enough. Our meteorologist Michelle Boss is joining us now. Michelle, how warm could it really get this weekend?
We're not talking about a big warm up from today, but just more of the same. We saw 40s today, mid 40s today, and we'll likely see highs in the 40s over the weekend as well. And that's despite the fact there's probably not going to be a lot of sun. Of course, we had gray skies today, but temperatures are still pretty mild out there. 40 degrees right now at the Spokane Airport, 43 in Coeur d'Alene. But we have a little bit of wet weather out there, just a few sprinkles as we take a look at satellite and radar. The reports we're getting out of the Spokane, Coeur d'Alene area and surrounding area have just been very, very light sprinkles, a trace of precipitation, 1/100 of an inch. So nothing heavy. If you're going to be out and about this evening, you won't have to worry about getting soaked or anything like that. Taking a look at the short-term forecast, a few sprinkles over the next couple of hours. Otherwise, cloudy skies. We could see some additional light sprinkles tomorrow morning, but I think the wetter day of the weekend is going to be on Sunday with some rain showers. But notice on both days, temperatures staying above freezing all night long and high temperatures in the lower 40s.
All right, Michelle, thank you very much. As the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students awaits his next court hearing, we have been getting several questions about evidence gathered in the case, specifically about DNA evidence that police gathered from the suspect's parents' trash can in Pennsylvania. According to the probable cause affidavit, police used that evidence to link Brian Koberger to the crime scene in Moscow. Several viewers have reached out to the KREM 2 Verify team to ask, do police need a warrant to search through your trash? So I took that question to Gonzaga law professor Wayne Unger.
When do police or investigators need a warrant to search through your trash?
So, great question.
So the answer depends on a few factors, including is the trash can outside of your home or inside, and what state do you live in? So be sure to catch my Verify report coming up on Monday on KREM 2 News at 6.